Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, doing something a little bit different again. I have designed a solo variant for BattleCON, which is a fighting game from Level 99 Games, and they were kind enough to send me a kind of review copy for me to try out this kind of thing. Though I do want to make totally clear right at the outset, this is by no means an official solo variant. This is just me playing around with the system, so just be aware of that. If you're anything like me, I love games like BattleCON, at least the idea of them, having tons and tons of different fighters to mix and match and learning them. But since these games are purely competitive, and not just competitive, but competitive in a way that rewards players who keep on playing and finding like a main fighter to learn, I haven't been able to play them as much as I would like, so solo modes are exactly what I'm looking for this kind of thing. So first for this video, I'm going to go through the basics of how to play BattleCON in normal competitive play. If you already know the game, use the timestamp to skip past this, because it's not going to be anything you need to hear. Then I'll explain how my solo variant works, and if you check the video info, I have a link to the file that explains it all, and that file will be a living document as I update things. I mean, even today, as I was getting ready to film this, I was talking to some of the people at Level 99, and they were suggesting improvements, which I haven't implemented yet, but I could. But yeah, just use that link if you want to kind of see the most up-to-date version of the solo rules, even maybe a little bit different than what you're going to see in this video, based on how time passes. And then finally, I'm going to show you a fight. The Patreon voters voted for King Alexian. Sorry, I had him on the wrong side there. And one of our runner-up voters was Emperor Rexan. So we have a king versus an emperor. And this is kind of a fun matchup anyway, because they have sort of opposite powers. So we'll see that fight, and then depending on how long that takes, I might do a second one with 2 more characters just to show you the variety of the system. So let's get into the basics of BattleCON first. Again, this is a fighting game. You have your fighters, and in a standard battle, you're on a little arena that's just a row of 7 spaces. And you each have your own little standee representing where you are. And again, in the standard game, you each start off with 20 life. And the game doesn't come with these little rolling counters. These are from Dice Throne. And I'm even bringing in a Lord of the Rings living card game, one for the overall force pool. But the tokens would have been harder to film. They have tokens for life and force and all that stuff. And the object of the game, simply enough, like most fighting games, is to totally defeat your opponent, get their life to 0 before they do the same to you. And how that works is with attack pairs. Each character has fully unique cards mixed with standard base cards, which are these ones on the right that have kind of more generic art. And what each fighter does on their turn is they choose a base, like this grasp base here, and they combine it with a style card for their character to form an overall attack pair. So here, this is a Gestalt Grasp. And you'll see the base provides the main statistics, range, power, priority, guard. We'll get to what all those mean. And then the style provides modifiers. So this is a 1 range, 4 power, 4 priority, 3 guard attack. And you'll also have special abilities on one or both cards. And the core concept of the game is you each secretly select your base and your style at the same time. Each fighter reveals them, and then based on priority, that yellow number, the higher priority fighter gets to do their stuff first. The lower priority fighter might get to do their stuff. If they take too much damage from the attacker's power, then they'll be stunned and they won't get to respond with their own stuff. That's the basic idea. You each do your attack pairs. You hope that you do more damage, or that you stun them so they can't hit you back, or that their range is wrong, you run away from them. There's a lot of like movement and tactical positioning. Now, to go into a bit more detail of the phases in a round, or in this game called a beat, first you have the set phase, that is where you pick your 2 cards. And by the way, the cards that we have up here, these are in the first and second position. As you play cards, they're going to slowly cycle through these positions. And what it basically means is when you play a card, you won't get it back for 2 rounds, for 2 beats. Because of the cards you played for a given turn, they'll move into this spot, these cards will cycle down here, and these cards will come back to your hand. I've sort of made the right side my character, King Alexian, and the left side, Emperor Rexan. Now, after both fighters have set their attack pairs, you have an anti-phase. And based on the fighters you have, you'll have different things you can ante, often little tokens like this that'll give you like special powers and things. And the idea is just like anteing in poker, you go back and forth until both of you pass consecutively and don't want to ante anything more. Now, the nice thing about both of these fighters is that their anteing is very simple, and it's actually reversed. Emperor Rexan will get to ante Alexian stuff, and he'll get to ante Emperor Rexan stuff. Then each player reveals their attack pair they set. And players will resolve any abilities that say reveal. That's kind of the first step. Then next you have the start of beat phase. That's when any start abilities get resolved. And after those 2, reveal and start, then you're going to check the priority. So if it was these cards against each other, Emperor Rexan has 5 plus 0, so 5. And King Alexian has 5 minus 1, so 4. So the Emperor would be the active player for this beat, and he would try to attack first. And first you look for any before abilities, which are short for before attack. So here, if he had 1 or more curses anteed, he would get some bonuses. We're not going to worry about that yet. But the key thing we're going to look at is range, which is 1 for the base with +0 to +1. And the reason for this little squiggly line in between them is that attacks will have a minimum and maximum range. And when you have a single value, that means that's both the minimum and the maximum, but modifiers can change that. So here, this would go from being just a range 1 attack to a range 1 to 2 attack. But those minimums do matter because sometimes enemies aren't just too far away, sometimes they're also too close. Like, for example, an Unyielding Burst would have 2 to 4 range, the 0 added to the 2, the 1 added to the 3, which would mean that Rexan could not hit me if I was right next to him at range 1. So here, though, I am at range 2. You just count the spaces away from you, so the Unyielding Grasp would hit. The amount of damage it does, barring other modifiers, is the power, which is 2 here. Now, some cards will give you armor for the beat, which will negate damage from power. But the other key thing about power, besides the amount of damage it does, is that, as I mentioned earlier, it has the potential to stun a fighter. And what you do to check that is you compare the amount of damage done to the guard value of the defender. In this case, Alexian has 0 plus 3, 3, and Rexan did 2 damage to him. And the only way to stun an opponent is to do more damage than their guard value. So even though Alexian would take 2 damage here and be down to 18, he would not be stunned, which would mean he would get the chance to attack back. If he was stunned, his entire attack wouldn't happen, including before abilities, hit abilities, which happen if you hit the opponent, damage abilities, which only happen if you damage him, and after abilities, which happen after your attack. All of those are kind of like part of the attack, and if you're stunned, none of those happen. But in this case, it wouldn't matter because Rexan's Grasp says on a hit, push or pull 1, push is away from you, pull is toward you. So we could push Alexian out of range anyway, because Alexian only has 1 range plus 0. And that's kind of the core of the game, that you're like trying to get them out of your range or stun them. The best thing you can do is hurt them without them hurting you back. So after everything has been resolved, you have the recycle phase. And that's where, as I already mentioned, the cards you played this turn are going to go into the furthest away spot. And then these are all going to cycle down, and these lowest cards will come back into my hand and can be used in the next beat. And those are the core basics of the game, except for one key thing, which is force. Now, you've got this pile of force tokens. Again, I'm using a Lord of the Rings little tracker here. You start with 41 in the central pool, and each of the fighters has 2. And at the end of each round, barring special effects, that's going to decrease by 2, so from here from 41 to 39. And that's because each fighter is gaining 1 force. And what can force be used for? 2 main things. First of all, each fighter has a set of 3 overload tiles like these ones. And you'll see each of them cost 2 force, and they'll give you a bonus for that round of combat, for that beat. Power to do more damage, priority to hopefully go first, or guard to not become stunned. Now, the other thing force is used for are finishers. Each fighter has a double-sided finisher card, and they start with whichever side they like, and they can switch it through some effects. But to play these, you have to spend as much force as your life total. And you can't save up more than 10 force at a time, so you're not going to use a finisher until you've been beaten up quite a bit. But they can be ridiculously powerful attacks that can sometimes defeat your opponent in one blow. So those are kind of the core basic rules of BattleCON. There are a lot more little nuances. For example, cards will have you move, but you can never move onto your opponent's space. So like if I moved 2 spaces towards him with what's called an advance, I would go 1, 2, and actually jump past him. And there's other little nuanced things like that, but that's enough to go by. Let's talk about the solo rules. So for the most part, my solo variant follows the basic rules, except with a few exceptions. First, let's look at setup. For the AI's ante, you're going to need a d6 die or something similar to randomize between their options. And if you have the BattleCON set that I do, Devastation, which is the big one, it comes with these 1 through 6 tokens that are used in the solo co-op dungeon crawl mode, Battle Quest. But what I'm using them for is marking what the AI's roles mean. So what you need to do for my variant is figure out what the full range of possibilities of things the AI could ante are. In this case, I'm going to be giving him my chivalry tokens. He doesn't have anything inherently his own to ante. And you want to divide the d6 as evenly as you can. So here I'm saying 1 chivalry token will be 1 to 2, second will be 3 to 4, third will be 5 to 6, nicely divided into 6 results when I have 3 tokens. But let's say it was a fighter that had 5 tokens they could ante. You could do it like this, where 1 through 5 will give you a different number of tokens to ante, and 6 will give you nothing. And the final extra part of setup, you have to randomly determine which finisher they'll be on. We can just do that one. And you're going to take their overload tiles and shuffle them into a little stack. Here we've got speed up on top because they'll consistently cycle through those, getting their bonuses for free. They are not going to pay force like we do for those tiles. So that's it for setup. Everything else is the same. Now, in terms of the actual turn, it's as simple as can be. You're going to take all of the AI's cards. You can shuffle the red style cards and the blue base cards separately. I just honestly like to kind of put them all together. And you're going to randomly pick one base and one style and leave them face down for now. And you will, of course, pick your own base and style as normal. No need to put it face down because you're not hiding it from anybody. Then in the ante phase, the AI gets the topmost overload token for free. Again, they're never going to pay force for these. If they have anything else to ante, like my chivalry tokens in this case, they'll wait until the human fighter is done anteing as much as they want to do, so they always ante after you, and then you'll roll a die. And again, they can have null results. Let's say you only had 2 of my 3 chivalry tokens, so the 5 to 6 we determined earlier is not an option. Here he rolled a 5, so he would ante nothing. If he had rolled a 3 or 4, he would ante both of these. If he had rolled a 1 or 2, he would ante one of them. So just a pretty simple little random way to determine how much they ante. Then once all of that stuff is finished up, you flip up their base. And the nice thing is at this point, a lot of the stuff plays itself. A lot of card powers won't give you an option for what you want to do. But you play out the beat as normal, except for a couple exceptions. First of all, the big one, because obviously the AI is going to be dumb sometimes with their range, is that the AI can pay 2 force for a -1/+1 range modifier. So if, for example, we had Unyielding Burst again with 2 to 4 range, he could pay 2 force to make it a 1 to 5 range card, adding a range on both ends of the spectrum. And the only other thing you have to do is figure out where to break ties. For example, Vainglorious Malediction, the before optional ability lets him pull me 1 space. Does he want to or not? How does the AI figure out that kind of choice? So here are the basic priorities for AI actions. It's in the document as well. The first big one, major, is that he wants to do as much damage to me while suffering as little damage from me. So if he can make a choice that moves him out of my range while still hitting me, he'll do that. Or if I'm going to do 8 damage but he's only going to do 4, he'll try to make a choice that'll make neither of us hit each other so that he doesn't get that -4 kind of overall damage dealt to him. Once you take that stuff out, he wants to spend as few resources as possible. So if he can spend a token to do something, but it's not actually going to make him do more damage, he'll avoid doing that. And then finally, when everything else is tied, for his movement, he prefers to be as close to the center as possible to leave his options open. And when moving the opponent, he prefers to have them to as much of an extreme as possible. And that's basically it for their decisions. If there are things that are still fully tied, you can either decide for the AI or you can make it random. Like if you could end up here or here, you could say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and just roll for it. And besides that, you just play the game as normal. And the main difficulty modification, if you need that, is to give the AI more or less life and to give yourself more or less life. But we're going to try 20 versus 20 today because they've been beating me about 50% of the time. And there are, of course, for the main BattleCON rules, some little details I left out, but I think that's better to look at the sheet and read instead of me explaining in the video. You'll see them in action, potentially. Alright, now we're ready for our first battle, me as Alexian versus them as Emperor Rexan. Let's meet our fighters. Alexian, as I said, is the king of one of the main kingdoms in this fantasy world. And his big thing is that he has chivalry tokens, and whenever I hit the opponent, I regain a chivalry, basically giving them another token. And these tokens are positive toward them. So I'm too much of a polite and honorable fighter. When I beat on them, I actually give them a way to crawl their way back into the fight. So, you can think of Eddard Stark or something like that is a good analogy here. And on the exact opposite end is Emperor Rexan, who's an emperor of his own kind of undead land. And he's got these 3 curse tokens, none of them start in play. I can ante them just like he can ante my tokens, but for me they're -1 power and -1 priority, whereas my tokens are +1 power and +1 priority. And again, we're kind of perfect opposites, because when I hit him, I get one of my tokens, but when I hit him, he also gets one of his tokens. And then if I don't ante them to get rid of them, taking a penalty on myself, his powers will get a boost. So the more curses I leave him holding by not getting rid of them and taking negatives on myself, the more he's going to kick my butt with special powers. But at the moment, the only token in play is my first chivalry token, so Rexan will roll to see if he uses it with a 1 or a 2 on the first turn. But now I have to decide what I'm going to do. We are 2 apart. I want to hit this guy. So first, I like to look at the bases, and let me explain kind of the core ones. Burst is one that everybody has. It's one of those core bases, and it has the ability to retreat 1 or 2 spaces at the start of the beat before anything else happens. Which is a great one because you can see what the enemy's attack range is and retreat just out of it to often cancel their entire attack. Now, it is super slow, 1 priority, but remember, this happens kind of outside of the priority order, and it can hit at range 2 to 3, so a nice way to kind of run back and smack somebody. Then for another ranged option, we've got Shot, which shoots at range 1 through 4 and has a bit of guard to keep you from getting stunned. And the only other basic one available to me right now is Drive, which lets you advance 1 to 2 spaces, that means towards the opponent, and also hits pretty hard. And then every fighter has their own unique base. For Alexian, he has stun immunity, so he's never going to get stunned. He has armor too, he's going to cancel 2 armor. If he hits them, he can push them, and he gets a chivalry back. That's not a good thing. Remember, more chivalry means they can spend it. And he does 4 damage, only 1 range, but that's a really nice base there. Then in terms of my styles, you'll see that mine tend to all add extra power. Well, except that one. That's my finisher, sorry. But they're also kind of half and half on priority minuses, so I tend to be a bit slow. They also mostly add guard. So my kind of general thing is to be a slugger. I like to kind of go slower, often wait for them to attack first, and then just walk up and hit them way harder than they hit me. So I'm going to start with a fairly simple attack for this first turn, a Mighty Shot. I've got 1 to 5 range, no way I'm missing him, 4 damage, 3 priority, and 4 guard should be enough so that I won't get stunned, 1 armor to cancel some of his damage, and I can retreat 1 space if I want to at the start of the beat, but it's optional so I don't have to. Alright, I've got the Emperor's cards ready, and he's going to ante for free, speed up the top of his overload tokens for +2 priority, and then he'll roll on a 1 to 2, he's going to use my chivalry, nope. So let's see what he's trying to do. Oh, very interesting. He's also taking a shot, and even slower than mine. So it's +2 priority, but -2, so he has 2 priority, and I have 3. So I'll be the active player this beat. And he does have a reveal power. The opponent has -1 power per held curse. Luckily, I don't have any yet, so that's not going to affect me. Alright, so I have the only start a beat power. Do I want to retreat? Nah, I'm not really afraid of being close to him and getting up in personal. So I'm going to do 4 power, -1 armor, so 3 damage. He's down to 17. And now because I hit him, he immediately gains a second chivalry, and I gain a curse, which is actually going to help him in just a second. Alright, so then he attacks back with 3 power, but he's got +1 per held curse, so it's going to be 4, but I've got 1 armor as well, so this was a totally kind of tied attack here, 17 to 17. Both took 3 damage. Alright, then it's the recycle. We're both going to cycle these down. I'll get my Gestalt Grasp back. Speed up will go to the bottom of the overload pile. I forgot to say that in the how to play, and he'll have defense up next turn. And our force ticks down to 39. We both gain 1. And again, I didn't mention this in the how to play, but if the force pool runs out, then you get 1 more beat, and then whoever has the most life left wins. Alright, that didn't go amazingly well for me. He has a curse now and 2 chivalry, so he's kind of at the advantage. So I'm going to try to smack him super hard again. That's the main thing I do. A Steel Divider, my unique base. I'm going to have immunity to stun. I'm going to have 2 armor +1 for every space between me and the opponent. So like if he retreats back from a burst, I'll get extra armor against him. And then before I attack, I'll get close too. I'll be able to move closer to him and hopefully get within 1 range. And then I can push him, do a ton of damage. I'm hoping it works out. He's got his pair, and he's going to get defense up for free. Now, I'm not worried about priority this beat. I'm assuming I'll go the slowest, so I'm going to ante the curse for -1 priority, -1 power, so he doesn't get a bonus against me. And let's roll to see if he antes any chivalry. He will ante 1. Remember, 1 to 2 would be 1, 3 to 4 would be 2. So he's got +1 power and +1 priority. He could hit me pretty hard. And let's see if he does. We both use our unique base, Overlord's Malediction. Alright, on reveal he gets 1 priority per held curse, but I'm not holding any. I anteed my only 1. But still, he's got 5 priority with the chivalry token. I've got 0 with the curse, so he's clearly the active player. And he's got a before effect that's optional, pull 1 to 3 spaces, but he gets -1 power per space pulled. He's clearly not going to pull it all because he's already hitting me, and I'm still going to hit him. I mean, I guess he could pull 1 to cancel out my armor. That's 1 for every space between us, but it's -1 power for each space he pulls, so it doesn't really matter. But Malediction's got this power. Whenever you would take more than 3 damage, if you hit the opponent this beat, you just take 3 damage instead. So it kind of caps his damage amount. And if he hits me, he's going to regain a curse. So he is hitting me for 3 damage, but I've got 2 armor here and 1 for the space between us here. So I take none of it, but he still gets the curse for hitting me, even though he dealt no damage. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot he had +1 from the chivalry. So actually, he does deal 1 damage. I'm down to 16. But it's not enough to stun me since I have stun immunity. So I'm going to close up to 2 spaces. And we're going to attack him for 6, which would have been brilliant, but because of his malediction, it's capped at 3, so he'll take 3 damage. And by the way, the curse didn't affect that because the curse took my 6 and made it 5, and then he was still capped at 3 damage, so it's not lowering the overall damage he took. But because I hit him, he gets a second chivalry, and I get a second curse. Fun. And let's see, on a hit, I can optionally push him 1 to 3 spaces. Sure, I'll just get him in the corner. And crud, Divider says at the end of the phase I regain a chivalry, so he's got all 3 of mine. Oh, Lord. Oh, and then he can pull me 0 to 1 per held curse, and remember, the AI likes you to be closer to the edge in either case, so he's going to pull me 2 spaces for his 2 curses, so I guess we're kind of in the corner together. Alright, we cycle our stuff. Defense up goes to the bottom. He'll be getting extra power next turn. And we both go up to 4 force. I should probably be spending it at some point. Alright, now is not the time for subtlety. Let's do a Gestalt Strike for 6 power. Well, actually, it would be 6 power. Ah, man. I'll just ante 1 curse for -1 power. But then I'm going to spend 2 force to use my power up and get another bonus to power. And the AI is getting the same for free. And then he's definitely going to use at least 1 chivalry. Let's see how much. Okay, just 1. So he will keep the other 2 for now. And let's see what he's trying. Let's see, a Vain Glorious Drive. So he's got a lot of movement here. And yeah, he's got 4 or 5 priority, and I've got 1. So he's still active. Let's see, he could advance 1 to 2. He prefers to be toward the center, as long as he doesn't have to spend anything. And then he can pull me 1, so he'll do that, because attacks at 1 range have -2 power, so he's going to weaken me even more. And then he's just smacking me down 3, 4, 5 power. I'm down to 11. But the good thing is I've got 8 guards, so it's not enough to stop me. Oh, and actually, wait, I cannot be pushed or pulled, so I guess he would have gone right here, so that he can still get that bonus for range 1, because he didn't have to advance 2. Alright, at the start, I can optionally advance 1. I will, to take the center ground. And then, man, how much am I actually doing? So it would have been 6 power, +1 is 7, -1 is 6, -2 is down to 4. So I did get him for 4 damage. He is down to 10. That would have stunned him, but it doesn't matter at this point. And that means he's getting back the chivalry he spent. I'm getting back the curse. I'm just going to keep on having these negative tokens, aren't I? But that's okay. Spending some force, I am slightly ahead of him. Let's see, this round he's going to have 2 priority more. I could try to grasp him and then throw him away from me. I could dodge. This is an interesting one. It really changes up the strategy of the match. Basically, you can move up to 3 in either direction, and if you move past the person, and this happens at the start of the beat, then they can't hit you this beat, which means I could do it if I think he'll use a ton of chivalry tokens and basically get rid of all of them. It might not be a bad idea. Although I could do this instead. Regal means he won't be able to retreat, and if he uses chivalry, he won't get a bonus from it. Oh, that'd be amazing, especially if he rolls all 3. So, yes, let's play that one. That's actually fairly fast. I know he played the speed up, but I still have a chance of going faster than him, so let's do a grasp. Although then I won't have any guard. Yeah, so let's spend 2 of my own force to speed up myself and kind of counter his speed up, make sure that I should go before him and hopefully stun him. And to that end, I'm not going to ante either of my curses, which would slow me down. Might be a bad idea, but we'll see how it goes. He's going to roll to ante his chivalry. Man, I hope he goes for a 5 or a 6. Ah, darn it, he only uses 1 again. So again, Regal's reveal effect is going to cancel that. It's going to be like he didn't play it at all. And I'm definitely faster than him. Ah, but he's going to close in. He's got enough guard to not get stunned. Okay, so yeah, this might not go very well. I'm sorry, I forgot the speed up. So he's got 4 priority, and I've got 8. Now I wish I'd use the curses, I guess. I'm the active player. I'm hitting him for 3, not enough to stun him. And then I could push or pull him 1, but it doesn't matter again because he's going to close in on me regardless. Oh, wait, no. It's close at the start of the beat. Okay, awesome. So he would have had to close in right when the cards get flipped, basically. I am pushing him away. Now, unfortunately, with the range increasing rules, the AI is going to be able to spend 2 force and gain +1 range, but at least I'm making him spend it. So in a normal match, I would have avoided this 6 power attack entirely. Remember, 6 power because I'm ignoring his chivalry, but here I'm going to get smacked by it. Oh my god. Now, because I hit him, he's going to get the 3rd chivalry again, and I have all 3 of his curses. Yikes. Now, quick important rule, whenever any fighter is at 7 health or less, they're going to get 2 force per turn instead of 1. So this is actually going to scroll down 4 points to 31. And he's up to 5, I'm up to 3. So neither of us can quite use our finisher, but in 1 round we'll be able to if we don't spend any more force. Alright, so here's my master plan. If I dodge past him and he hopefully stays next to me, I can use Empire Divider, my finisher, because I'll have enough force in the next round, and I can do 7 damage to him. 7 damage. Oh, that would kill him in 1 blow. See, I'm definitely going to play Dodge. And then just in case something goes crazy, I'm going to play Mighty. That'll give me 1 armor and an optional retreat, which I can use before or after the Dodge retreat. So that way, like, if something goes crazy, I can maybe get out of the way. And by the way, I'm going to ante all 3 of my curses. Now, the thing is with Rexan, if you anti-curses and then you don't hit each other at all, then all the curses you antied come back to you at the end of the round. So you can't just like dodge around and get rid of all the curses. They'll stick with you. But at least for this round, since I won't be holding them, they'll have been antied. They don't come back until the end. They won't affect me. My hope is Rexan antis like all of these. No, just a 2, although that's still better than none. And he's gaining defense up, which certainly won't matter for this round. Oh, he's also dodging. That's hilarious. So for start abilities, the first person to resolve them is the active player from last round, because you don't actually look at priority yet. But in this case, knowing that he prefers to be near the center, I'm going to try to do the same. So I'll first use my advance or retreat 1 to 3 from the dodge to advance 1, and then I'll use my optional retreat 1 to be right in the middle, and he should kind of stay close to me, I think. Yeah, and then when he goes, he just wants to be as close to the center as he can. The side doesn't matter. Oh, wait, I forgot. He has an optional pull, and he's going to use it because he doesn't care about power when he's dodging. So he can pull me up to 3 spaces, and when you pull, you can pull past yourself and keep going, so he's going to put me right in the corner. And something important in my solo rule is to be nice to the AI. If they ante a bunch of stuff and it doesn't get used, they get half of it rounded down back for free. So since he used these chivalry tokens for nothing, he's going to get 1 back. And as I said, because neither of us hit each other, I get all 3 curses back. And like I said, we both have enough force now to do our finisher. How that works is you play your switch style, which is a generic one, with whatever base you want. And instead of doing those 2 cards, you replace them with your finisher if you have, again, force equal to or greater than your health. But here's the thing, my finisher has 1 to 2 range. If I play this and he happens to play his burst, which will let him retreat, I'll totally waste it and he might still hit me for the finish. So I'm thinking maybe I try to get closer to him and wait until next beat. His dodge will still be gone before I do it. But I mean, that's a pretty low probability he'll run away. Let me just go in and do it. So I can do switch and whatever, it doesn't really matter because I'm actually not going to play these cards again. They're going to be replaced by my finisher. I'm not going to ante any curses. That might be terrible for me, but I don't want to take the minus to power. He's getting +1 power this turn. Then he's got 2 chivalry, and he just uses 1 of them again. All right, it comes down to this, baby. If he doesn't run away, if he doesn't kill me, if he stays in range, I think I got him. Oh, yes. I think this is it. So when we reveal, I'm going to spend all of my force and put my finisher in, Empire Divider. And this also negates chivalry bonuses, so he doesn't have +1 priority. So I am faster than him. I've got 4 to his 2. And he could have pulled me in 1. He could have done -2 power to my attack. But instead, I'm doing range 1 to 2. 7 damage. Boom! He is down to nothing. The Emperor is defeated, even though I was lower on life. So there you go. That was one battle in BattleCon with my solo variant. Let's do one more with 2 different characters that were also voted on by the patrons and see how things kind of change up. All right, here we go. Set up for round 2. And these are the other fighters that got the most votes by patrons. We've got Marmelee, the Dragon Princess. That'll be my character. And Shekhtur, the Cursed Heroine, will be facing against me. And this one should be really interesting and might not go well for me at all, because in the first match, Alexian and Rexan are kind of similar types of fighters. They like to just get in each other's faces and hammer each other. Shekhtur is a disruptor. She has these malice tokens that she can ante, so she has her own tokens this time, and they'll give her plus priority, and she just loves cutting through my guard, stunning me, taking away my turns entirely. She gets these back for every point of damage she does. So what she likes to do is go super fast, hit me really hard, get all her tokens back, go super fast, hit me really hard again, take away all my turns forever, basically. And she starts with 3 of them, but again, going with my D6 system, she's going to use up to 5 based on a D6 roll. A 6, in this case, would mean she uses none, no matter how many she has. My girl Marmelee, on the other hand, is all about building up concentration for her magical effects. She starts with 2 of these, and you'll see they're a different shape. That's because you never ante these. They're just kind of like a marker to show how much you have. And at the end of every beat, she's going to get another one for free, and she can spend these for some pretty crazy powerful effects. But every time she gets stunned, she's going to lose 3 of them, or all of them if she has less than 3. And again, that's why this might be a terrible matchup for me, because Shekhtur is all about rushing in and stunning, and I might not be able to stop her, but I, again, just start with 2. And by the way, for the cards that are starting out of play for the first fight, I just use the ones that are already marked with the 1 or 2. Those are kind of recommended for beginners. And in my solo rules, you always use those for the AI, but you are allowed to change out your own things. And I think this is a fight where I want to dodge and dodge and dodge a lot, because that'll let me build up meditation without her hurting me. So instead of dodge, I'm going to switch that with my drive to rush in towards her, because I also have better long-range styles, so I can make even like short-range attack become long-range, so I think it makes sense for me to want to keep my distance for most of this fight. With all that said, let's get into it. She's going to get a speed up first, which is what she's good at anyway. So I'm definitely going to dodge and just try to kind of negate her whole priority thing. Hopefully she'll use a bunch of malice and then lose it. And I'll put Sorceress to go with it, the -1 priority should it matter. I can spend concentration for range. I can ignore armor with concentration. I can spend concentration to move. I'm guessing I won't do any of that, and I'll just build the concentration up, but we'll see what she does. And we'll roll to see if she uses malice. A 1, 2, or 3 will mean she does. No, she doesn't. Bummer. Maybe she knew I was going to dodge. But this works fine for me. She's trying to rush in and kill me, which won't matter with the dodge. So she's got 3 priority plus 2, 5. She's definitely going to be the active player. But my dodge happens at the start phase, so I'll just go, I guess, right past her. And then when she acts before, she has to advance 1. So good, I got her in the corner. Now maybe I can retreat away. And I could spend a concentration to retreat, but the whole point of this was to build up concentration, so I'm not going to. Instead, I'll get 1 more. That brings my total to 3. Nice. Going into beat 2. That worked out kind of exactly how I hoped it would. I think now with her in the corner, I want to build some distance between us, and that's gone. So this looks pretty perfect to me. Look at this. I get a retreat 1 at the start. I can retreat 1 to 2 more. So I can retreat up to 3 spaces and with enough range to still hit her. And then worst case, if she gets some card that lets her just charge into me or plays her shot so she can shoot me, I can use my concentration to get some armor and at least not take the damage. And you know what? Hey, I want to do some damage. Let's spend 2 force to get +1 power for 4. Alright, she again will ante some malice for plus priority on a 1 to 3. Oh, there we go. She's anteing it all. I'm going slow on purpose. Now I just gotta hope my range works out for me. And she's also anteing +1 power. Oh man, this is not great. She's gonna have a 1 to 3 range, and she'll have enough force to make it 4 range, which means I think she will be able to hit me. Oh, but she's only doing 3 power even with her boost, so I can at least use my tokens to not get stunned, although that's gonna clean me out. And Brand, by the way, is a pretty cool one. It says, if her priority is 6 or more, she ignores guard. It isn't. It's almost. She's 5 with the malice she spent. And then after she hits me, she's going to be able to spend some malice to damage me. Chip 1 means I lose life, but it can't kill me, basically. And regain life herself, although she can't go above 20, so then maybe that won't be too useful. Alright, so at start, I can retreat 2 to 3. So yeah, I'm going to go the full distance away. But then she goes. Again, she's got 3 range. She's going to use the AI's special power, spend 2 force to get 4, so she's doing 2 + 1, 3 damage. That would stun me, but I'm going to spend all 3 of my concentration, so I take no damage. And the great thing is, since she didn't deal damage, she's not going to get her malice back, and she did need that malice to go faster than me, so she actually will lose these 3 tokens for now. She'll be empty of malice. So she has no malice to use to chip away my health. Oh, wait. Oh, no. It's on a hit, I can spend concentration for armor, which means she's hitting me before that ever happens. So forget all the beautiful, lovely things I said. I take 3 damage. I am stunned, so I lose all 3 of my concentration for no effect. She gets 3 malice back, and she's going to spend 2 of them to chip away another health, so I'm down to 16, although she can't heal. None of my stuff happens because I'm stunned. And then she gets 2 more malice at the end of the beat, and +1 power for next time. And you mark that with these little reminder cards, so, oh my god, that was terrible. But hey, tiny little silver lining, I get 1 concentration back, yay. Alright, so going into another round, I'm going to do shots to shoot her at range 1 to 4. I mean, hopefully she can't hit me again. And I'll go ahead and use barrier. I clearly won't have 3 concentration for stun immunity, but I can push her back if she moves towards me a bit, and I'll have a +1 power. Doesn't seem too bad, although I'm still super slow, so if she wants to rush up to me, she'll easily be able to. Alright, she's going to get a defense up for free. And once again, she's at 1 to 3 malice, but she won't spend any of it. Alright, come on, short range. Oh man, burst. I think she's going to be able to spend 2 force again to get enough range. Darn it. I should have paid some force for speed up. So she's got 3 priority. I've only got 2, so she'll be active player. At start, she could retreat, but she doesn't have any space to. And yeah, again, she's got to spend 2 force to get +1 range to actually have me in range. But with that, she'll be doing 5 damage. Oh, my lord. Which means that Shekhtur has her full 5 malice now. Remember, she gets 1 for each damage she does. And I lose my 1 concentration. And then she can push her pull me 1. Well, she wants me to be towards the edge, so there I go. Oh my gosh, that is ugly. And get 1 concentration back to help me bind my wounds. Well, hey, good thing though now, at least this beat she can't get any extra range. She does have the +1 power from Power Unleashed and a speed up. I'm going to try something that should be fairly safe unless she plays a shot base. Magnificent Drive, it'll have 2 to 3 range, and I can advance 1 or 2 before the attack, so I should be able to get her in range, but hopefully still be out of hers. Now, it's only 2 power, so not 100% sure it's even worth it, but let's go ahead and try it. And I'm kind of hoping that she goes before me, and this 5 priority is higher than I would like, but she has 5 malice, so she'll almost certainly spend those, and she's got the speed up this round, so I think I'll be safe. Come on, spend all 5! Or just 1, great. Alright, what's she doing? Okay, Reaver Drive. Alright, she'll be able to advance 1 to 2, and she'll have 1 to 2 range. So I think she won't be able to hit me, is that right? So she's got 6, 7 priority, good, I've only got 5, so she goes first. And she knows that I can hit her no matter what, so she's just going to advance the full 2 to get closer to the center. And then, yeah, she doesn't have enough range. She doesn't have force to hit me, so woohoo, I don't get hit for once. Okay, and then she is within my 1 to 3 range. I have to advance 1 to 2. I guess I'll just go 1. I don't want to be right next to her. And then, let's see, I'm only doing 2 damage. I could spend my 1 concentration to do 3 damage instead, but I'd kind of like to build that up for other things. So let's just do the 2 damage, get her down to 18. It's a little bit, but it's something. And then at the end, Shekhtur's going to advance 1 or 2, so she'll be right in the center. And I do go up to 2 concentration. She's down to 4 malice, slightly better, I guess. Oh, and her power unleashed didn't happen, so that's great. And for this beat, she's almost full of malice again, so I think I'm just going to dodge. Ooh, and I'll do one of my favorites, a switch dodge. That'll give me an extra force this round, because obviously I can't use it to play my finisher yet. I still have way too much life. Meanwhile, she's getting +1 power. And anteing 2 malice, I'll take it, sure. And okay, grasp. Good, okay, none of this should stop me from running away. Although she's going to regain 1 of her 2 priority because her 4 priority is higher than my 3 anyway, so she didn't need it. Remember, in that case, she gets half rounded down back. Yeah, so I'm just going to dodge. Should I dodge really far? Yeah, I guess so, because my shot is just about to come back. And that's basically it for me. She has an optional close 3, but she's not going to use it because she'd rather be in the center. And of course, she doesn't hit me, so she doesn't get to push or pull me, so pretty basic turn. I just took away 1 of her malice, and I'll get another concentration. And the nice thing is, with my switch, I'm going up to 6 force, and she's at 3 again. Oh, and I've got the perfect one for her this round. So look, Petrifying Shot, I'll definitely have enough range. I can do 4 damage. 1 priority is pretty terrible, but look, optionally at the start, I can spend 3 concentration to become the active player, petrify her, regardless of priority. So hopefully she'll spend a bunch more of her malice, and then I'll just become the priority player anyway, and blast her. Although she is less likely to get stunned, because she's got defense up. I mean, hopefully she just won't have enough range. Let's see if she uses some malice. Come on. Just 1, okay. Alright, let's see what she did. Alright, Combination Brand. That's, oh wow, only 1 priority, +1 from the malice is 2. Oh, darn, okay, so, man, I almost tied her there. If you tie, by the way, then you each have to put down a new style and a new base, which I guess might not have been good for me. Let's see, if she had hit me last beat, she would get +1 power and +1 priority. She didn't. If she had 6+ priority, she would ignore guard. She doesn't. She can't ignore armor. Ooh, range 3+ this attack does not hit. And there's no way for her to move in. Wow. Oh man, so this is great. She's actually not going to be able to attack me because the 2 force can't cancel an effect like that. So I don't have to use my 3 concentration. I can just shoot her as is. So boom, 4 damage. Take that a little bit closer to tying up now. No man, even though I'm down on life, I'm liking how much force I have. I have almost full concentration. She has only 2 malice, so I'm in a decent position here. So with me having so much concentration, I'm kind of liking this Magnificent Grasp. I'm actually very fast. So since she doesn't have very much malice, even though she's using her speed up icon, there's a pretty good chance she won't be faster than me. I can hit her from where she is, 3 range. I can push or pull her, and I can spend concentration for plus power. So even though it's 1 to start, it could get all the way up to 5. But is that worth it to spend all my concentration on? Well, I gotta hit her somehow. And let's roll. On a 1 or 2, she'll use some malice. No, she did not. That might be good for me. Again, I might beat her priority. Oh, wait. 0, 3 plus 2 is 5. I got 6. Yes, I'm going first. Yeah, because she would have had enough range with her force to spend easily. Oh, but she's got 5 guard. I'm not gonna stun her. Oh, I should have spent some force to get extra damage. Darn it. Yeah, because I can get up to 5 damage, which is exactly her guards, and then she'll still hit me back. Alright, well, it's still worth doing. I have the priority. I have 2 to 3 range, so I hit her for 1. Spend all of this to make it 5. So she is down to 9. For the moment, I'm in the lead. And then I can push or pull her 1. Let's go ahead and push her away, so she'll have to use more force. So now her Unleashed Strike is 1 to 2 range. She needs 2 more, so that's going to cost all of her force to gain that. I'll love that. But she is hitting me for 3, which would have stunned away all my concentration if I hadn't already spent it. So I'm down to 8. Oh man, I can use my finisher in a second. So she's definitely up to full malice again. And she's got her power unleash for +1 power next turn. But still, I came ahead in that beat, and I love that she is so far away and with no force to boost her range. Now, with me having enough force, by the way, I should probably show you my finisher. The set I have right now is Astral Cannon, 2 to 4 range. She's actually in range. It's only 2 power, 4 priority, stun immunity, but I can spend concentration tokens for +2 power each. Man, that would be great if I had concentration tokens. I mean, I guess I did get 1 at the end of that beat, but yeah, I'm not really ready for a big strike, am I? So to that end, and with her having +2 power this phase, let's just try to hang back. I'm going to play Meditation, which could give me armor, but the main thing is I'll get an extra concentration whether she hits me or not, so I'll have at least 2 next round and hopefully 3. And even though I'm unlikely to hit her at this range, I'll go ahead and add Nullifying that gives me 2 to 3 range, so if she like advances up or something, I can smack her a bit. She's got her full complement of priority boosters again. She's going to spend 2. And she's doing a Jugular Drive. Only 1 range, but she can advance 1 to 2. Oh, but the great thing is she cannot quite get into range. Even with advance 2, she'll be right there. And she doesn't have the force to gain 1 range, and she's going faster than me, so this is awesome. I'm actually going to hit her. Oh man, this whole fight might have turned around. Yeah, so she's got priority, although she didn't need the tokens for it, so she's going to get 1 back and just spend 1. She's going to advance 1 or 2, but she knows she can't get to me. Anyway, by the way, I would have started with a retreat 1, but clearly I can't retreat anywhere, so she's just going to advance 1. And then, yeah, nothing else happens because she misses me. But I will hit her for 3, so she is down to 6 life. I'm ahead. And the big thing is I get 2 concentration, so I am ready to blast her with my Astral Cannon. And all of her power bonuses were for nothing, although she did get +2 force because of her lower life. Alright, so I think this should be it. If I Astral Cannon her, it's got stun immunity. I have enough concentration to blast her out of existence. The 2 things that could totally do me in would be either a dodge or a burst. With either of those, she could retreat out of my range. I would have wasted like all my force and my finisher for basically nothing. So, you know, let's hope that doesn't happen. And she's only got plus defense this round. She has 4 malice, and she's only going to spend 1 of them. Oh, and sorry, I didn't even say. I'm putting switch and, you know, whatever, because I'm using my finisher. I mean, really, let's just go ahead and put it out there. It does spend 8 of my force, though. So I'm down to a lowly 1. All right, come on, come on, come on. Don't dodge, don't burst, then I'll blow you up. No! No! Come on! Oh, man, okay. Yeah, so start of the beat, she can retreat 1 to 2. 2 gets her out of my range. Darn it, darn it, darn it! Now, the good thing is I don't have to spend any of my concentration, because that is optional, so clearly I'm not going to, but there goes my finisher. My switch style also gets removed for the rest of the game, and yeah, I'm down to almost no force. Oh, and I just realized if she spends 2 force, she can actually hit me, because she has, 2 to 4 range. With 2 force, that'd be 2 to 5. Darn! So she's doing 3 damage to me. I'm down to 5. What has happened? And then at the end of the beat, she wants to advance 1 to 2, so she will go right up there. Oh, and that's right, she hit me, so she has all her malice back, too. Now, I did have stun immunity, so I don't lose any of that, so I'm up to 4 concentration. Oh, man, okay, I gotta figure something out. We both gain 2 force, so we're each up to 3, so she can increase her range again. Oh, you didn't see this in the Alexian fight, because that one worked out better with the finisher, but when you play a finisher, nothing cycles, so I just have the same stuff unavailable for this round. Alright, here I think is my best option. I can do my little 3 concentration to automatically get first player again with Petrifying. And do a shot that's 4 damage. And let's power up and make it 5 damage, I guess. I mean, it doesn't matter, right? Because she's only got 6 life left. If I can't get it to 6, why do 5? Yeah, you know, that is a very true statement. Let me take away the bonus damage. It wouldn't make any sense. And also, her best guard card is 5 guard, so she wouldn't get stunned anyway. So, yeah, we'll just stop there. Alright, she has up to 5 malice to spend. Only spends 1. I want you to spend more of it. Okay, let's see what she's doing. Now, she's also shooting. And then after, she'll retreat 1 to 2, which means she would get out of my range. Oh, man. See, I didn't want to have to spend the concentration, but I definitely do because, she has 2 priority and I have 1, which means she didn't really need this, but it'll go away anyway. But the good thing is I am going to stun her with... Oh, no, that's right. I didn't do the +1 damage. Now I wish I had. Oh, my gosh. Now, for 2 concentration, I could ignore guard, and then she would get stunned. Why? I should have paid for the force. Darn it. Jeez. So I am definitely going to pay 3 concentration to be active player. because at least I'll do my 4 damage and she'll be down to 2. But because of her defense up, it's not enough to stun her. And she's going to hit me for 2 damage. That's not too bad. I mean, I'm ahead of her slightly. Then she's going to retreat 1 to 2. She wants to be near to the center, so she'll only go 1. She has all her malice back, of course, and she's got +1 power. I mean, not that she needs it. Anything is going to kill either of us here. Oh, and she only did 2, so she didn't stun me. So I don't lose my 1 concentration left. I'll be up to 2 in a second. The force pool is down to 15. We're actually getting slightly close to an automatic end, but clearly we're going to be dead before that. She's up to 5 force. I'm up to 5 force. Oh, and she's too far away to dodge. Oh my gosh. And she's got +2 speed, so I can't try to guarantee hitting her first. Oh, she's got so much malice to spend. Yeah, this is not looking great. This is not looking great. Well, you know what? Let's try to beat her in priority anyway. Okay, I'll do Magnificent for more range. And then, I guess, Drive to get close enough to still hit her. I can add damage if I need to, although that is the 2 I need to kill her. And I'm certainly going to spend all my stuff to get a speed up and, I don't know, a power up too. So, I mean, I've got 7 priority. If she rolls badly for her malice, I might finish her right here. Come on, don't roll a 4 or 5 or something crazy. No! God, +4? Oh, help me. Yeah, and with her having enough force to reach me, probably with any attack, I think this is not going to go well, but let's see. She's got 2 priority. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What did I have? 7? So she is faster than me. Wait, but, let's see. She hit me, so she got +1 priority, so she's definitely faster. She has way more than enough power, but range 3 plus, the attack does not hit. And even if it could, she doesn't have enough force to get the 3 extra range she needs. So wait, do I actually get her? Yeah, I think I do. Okay, I advance. I just need to go there to get within 3 range. Blast her for 2, 3 damage. Oh, boom! So, yeah, bad card play for the AI, but hey, that makes up for the perfect burst in the previous round where I wouldn't kill her. Yeah, I have barely won here. That was awesome. So there you go, that was BattleCON, specifically characters from the Devastation of Indians set, with my solo variant rules. You can again see a link to check them out yourself in the video description. I hope you enjoyed watching this. Again, as more people play it, I'd love to hear your feedback, either comments here or check us out on Discord, and just let us know if there's ways you think this could be tweaked or improved, because I really enjoy this game, and I want to play it more with the best solo AI possible. But for now, good gaming, and I'll see you at the next stop.